What happens when one of the most famous women in the world walks onto a morning talk show expecting royal treatment, only to meet a host who refuses to bend the knee? In just 40 seconds of uncomfortable silence, a simple question about charity work would unravel into the most explosive on-air meltdown British television has ever witnessed. This is the story of how Meghan Markle got kicked off this morning after a heated altercation with Alison Hammond that left the entire studio in absolute shock. It started like any other interview. The lights were bright, the cameras were rolling, and Alison Hammond was doing what she does best, making her guest feel welcome with her infectious warmth and genuine smile. Meghan Markle had agreed to appear on the show to discuss her latest project, something about empowering women through storytelling. It sounded lovely on paper. But from the moment Meghan walked onto that set, something felt different. Allison stood up to greet her with open arms, ready for the customary hug she gives every guest. But Meghan simply extended her hand for a formal handshake, her expression cool and measured. Allison, ever the professional, didn't miss a beat. She shook Meghan's hand warmly and gestured to the sofa. "Welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness, it's so lovely to have you here," Allison said, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Meghan settled into her seat, crossing her legs and smoothing down her designer dress. She offered a tight smile. "Thank you for having me." The first few questions went smoothly enough. Allison asked about the project, about Meghan's vision, about what inspired her. Meghan's answers were polished, rehearsed, the kind of responses you'd expect from someone who'd done 1,000 interviews before. But there was a coldness there, a distance that Allison, with her years of experience, could sense immediately. Then Allison decided to go a little deeper, to get to the heart of what viewers really wanted to know. She leaned forward with genuine curiosity and asked, "So, with everything you've been through, all the challenges and the public scrutiny, what keeps you grounded? What keeps you real?" Meghan's smile faltered for just a fraction of a second. She shifted in her seat, her hand moving to adjust her necklace in what seemed like a nervous gesture. "Well, Allison, I think that's quite a personal question, don't you?" There was something in Meghan's tone, a sharpness that hadn't been there before. Allison noticed it immediately, but chose to push forward with her characteristic warmth. "Oh, I don't mean to pry, sweetheart. I just think our viewers at home would love to know. You know, you're such an inspiration to so many people." "An inspiration," Meghan repeated, and there was an odd inflection in her voice. "Is that what people think I am?" Allison smiled, sensing the conversation taking an unexpected turn, but remaining professional. "Well, yeah. I mean, you've overcome so much. You've stood up for yourself. You've started this new chapter. That takes real courage." Meghan's eyes narrowed ever so slightly. "Courage. Yes. It does take courage to leave behind everything you know. Everyone you know, because you're given no other choice." Allison laughed, that beautiful, warm laugh that puts everyone at ease. "Oh, babe, that's what we do here. We get personal, we get real. That's why people love this morning. We're like family here." "Family," Meghan repeated, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. "I've learned that family means very different things to different people." The atmosphere in the studio shifted. You could feel it. The crew members exchanged glances. The camera operators adjusted their positions slightly, sensing that something significant was about to unfold. Allison, still smiling but clearly picking up on the tension, tried to lighten the mood. Of course. Everyone's family is different. So tell me, this new project of yours, it's all about giving voices to women who feel unheard, right?" Meghan nodded slowly. "Yes. Women who have been silenced by institutions, by systems that were never designed to protect them. Women who have been villainized for simply speaking their truth. Women who have been told that their experiences don't matter, that their pain isn't valid." "That's powerful stuff," Allison said, nodding with genuine interest. And I imagine you draw on your own experiences with that, your own journey, and everything you've been through. I draw on my experiences with a lot of things, Allison, Meghan said, her voice taking on an edge. Experiences that some people, particularly in this country, have chosen to completely misunderstand and misrepresent. Allison nodded thoughtfully, not rising to the bait. Well, I think what's beautiful is that you're here today, using your platform to do something positive. That's what matters, isn't it? Meghan's eyes narrowed slightly. Is it though? Is that what really matters to the people watching this? Or are they just waiting for me to say something they can tear apart on social media? The question hung in the air like a challenge. Allison took a breath, maintaining her composure with the grace of someone who'd handled difficult guests before. I think our viewers are good people who want to hear your story, babe. They want to understand you. Understand me, Meghan said with a bitter laugh. That's rich. How can anyone understand me when the press has spent years painting me as some sort of villain? When I've been subjected to treatment that no one else in that family ever had to endure? Allison kept her voice gentle but firm. I hear you. I really do. But we're not the press, love. We're just having a conversation. And I'm genuinely interested in what you're doing now, moving forward. Moving forward, Meghan echoed. Everyone wants me to move forward, to just forget everything that happened, to smile, and pretend like I wasn't driven out of an entire country. No one's asking you to forget anything, Allison said carefully. But dwelling on the past, on the negativity, that can't be healthy either, can it? Meghan's jaw tensed. Are you seriously lecturing me about what's healthy? You have no idea what I've been through. None. You're absolutely right, I don't, Allison agreed. That's why I'm asking. That's why we're here talking. So people can understand your perspective. My perspective, Meghan said, her voice rising slightly. My perspective has been dismissed and ridiculed since day one. And now you're sitting here in your cozy little morning show studio trying to therapize me on national television? Allison's smile remained, but there was a firmness in her eyes now. I'm not trying to therapize anyone, sweetheart. I'm just trying to have a conversation. That's literally my job. Your job, Meghan said, leaning forward. Your job is to make me look good for your ratings. That's what this is really about. Isn't it? Getting Meghan Markle on your show so you can boost your numbers. The accusation landed like a slap. You could see Allison processing it, deciding how to respond. When she spoke, her voice was still kind, but there was steel underneath. Actually, my job is to have honest, open conversations with interesting people. And yeah, of course we're happy to have you here. You're a fascinating person with a lot to say. But I'm not here to make you look any particular way. You're doing that all on your own, babe. Meghan's face flushed. Excuse me? I'm just saying, Allison continued, her tone still measured, that I've asked you some pretty gentle questions, and you've come at each one like I'm attacking you. I'm on your side here, but you've got to meet me halfway. On my side? Meghan's voice dripped with sarcasm. You don't even know me. How can you be on my side? Because I'm a human being with empathy, Allison said simply. And I can see you're hurting. But taking that hurt out on me, on this show, on our viewers, that's not fair. Meghan stood up abruptly, the microphone pack on her dress nearly pulling free. Not fair? You want to talk to me about what's fair? Do you have any concept of what I've sacrificed? What I've lost? Allison remained seated, looking up at Meghan with calm eyes. I'm sure you've sacrificed a lot, but so have a lot of people, and they don't have platforms like yours to talk about it. Platforms like mine? Meghan's voice was getting louder now, echoing through the studio. You mean the platform I had to build myself after I was pushed out? After I was abandoned? No one pushed you out of this studio, Allison said quietly. You're choosing to leave right now, all on your own. Because I refuse to sit here and be patronized by someone who couldn't possibly understand the complexities of my situation, Meghan shot back. Allison stood up now too, matching Meghan's energy, but keeping her voice level. You know what? You're right. I don't understand what it's like to marry into royalty. I don't understand what it's like to have that level of scrutiny. But I do understand what it's like to be a woman working in media, dealing with criticism, dealing with people who don't think you belong. And I've never used that as an excuse to treat people poorly. How dare you, Meghan said, her voice shaking with anger. How dare you compare your experience to mine? I'm not comparing anything, Allison replied. I'm just saying that kindness matters, respect matters, and right now, you're not showing much of either. Meghan looked genuinely shocked, as if she couldn't believe someone was actually standing up to her. I came here in good faith to talk about my project, and instead, I'm being attacked. No, babe, Allison said, shaking her head. You came here with an agenda, with a chip on your shoulder the size of Big Ben. I've tried to be warm, I've tried to be understanding, but you've thrown every olive branch right back in my face. Because your questions are designed to make me look unstable, Meghan insisted. My questions are designed to get to know you, Allison countered. But every single one, you've twisted into some attack. At some point, you've got to ask yourself why you're so defensive. Meghan's hands were shaking now. I'm defensive because I have to be. Because people like you, people in the media, you're all the same. You smile to my face, and then you twist everything I say. I haven't twisted anything, Allison said firmly. Your words are your words. Your behavior is your behavior. And right now, you're showing everyone watching exactly who you are. And who's that? Meghan demanded. Who am I, Allison? Please, enlighten me. Allison took a deep breath. You're someone who's been through a lot. I can see that. But you're also someone who seems to think that pain gives you permission to be unkind. And it doesn't, love. It really doesn't. Meghan's face was crimson. Now, I don't have to stand here and listen to this. I don't have to be judged by you or anyone else. You're right. You don't, Allison agreed. But you also don't get to come on my show and treat me like I'm beneath you. I've been nothing but respectful, and you've been nothing but hostile. Hostile? Meghan laughed bitterly. You have no idea what hostile looks like. Try having an entire country turn against you. Try having your every move scrutinized and criticized. And that's terrible, truly, Allison said with genuine sympathy. But it doesn't excuse how you're acting right now. You're not talking to the country. You're talking to me. And I'm just a person trying to do her job. Meghan grabbed her purse from beside the sofa. Well, you can do your job without me. I'm done here. Clearly, Allison said. But before you go, can I just say one thing? Meghan stopped, turning back with cold eyes. What? I really did want this to go well, Allison said softly. I admire a lot of what you've tried to do. But you can't build a career on being a victim and then attack everyone who tries to engage with you like a human being. That's not sustainable. That's not healthy. And it's not kind. Don't you dare talk to me about kindness, Meghan hissed. You don't know the first thing about what I've endured. Maybe not, Allison said. But I know that hurt people who don't deal with their hurt end up hurting other people. And that's what's happening right here, right now. Meghan's eyes blazed. I came here to talk about empowering women, and instead I'm being lectured by someone who clearly has no understanding of power dynamics, of systemic oppression, of what it means to be truly marginalized. Allison's expression hardened just slightly. Right, because I, as a black woman in British media, have no understanding of marginalization. Got it. The words hit like a thunderbolt. Meghan opened her mouth, then closed it again, seemingly lost for words for the first time in the entire exchange. Allison continued, her voice steady. See, that's the thing. You're so wrapped up in your own narrative that you can't even see the people right in front of you. You can't see their struggles, their experiences, because yours is the only one that matters to you. That's not true, Meghan said, but her voice lacked conviction. Then prove it, Allison challenged. Sit back down. Have an actual conversation with me. Stop fighting ghosts and talk to the real person who's right here, trying to connect with you. For a moment, it seemed like Meghan might consider it. Her grip on her purse loosened slightly, but then her face hardened again, the walls going back up. No, I won't be manipulated into staying somewhere I'm clearly not valued. The only person not valuing you right now is you, Allison said gently. I've valued you enough to prepare for this interview, to ask thoughtful questions, to try to understand you. But you've decided I'm the enemy, before I even opened my mouth. Because I've learned to protect myself, Meghan said, her voice cracking slightly. I've learned that if I don't, people will destroy me. I'm not trying to destroy you, Allison said, and the sincerity in her voice was unmistakable. I'm really not. But I also won't let you destroy this interview, this show, or my credibility by pretending I've done something wrong when all I've done is treat you with respect. Respect? Meghan's voice rose again. Telling me I'm being unkind, that I'm playing the victim, that's respect? Yes, Allison said simply. Because sometimes respect means being honest, even when the truth is uncomfortable. And the truth is, you came in here with your defenses up so high that you couldn't receive anything I was trying to give you. Meghan shook her head. I don't have to listen to this. Where's your producer? I want to speak to your producer. Allison gestured calmly toward the control room. They're right there. But they're going to tell you the same thing I am. You're welcome to stay and have a real conversation. But if you're going to continue being combative and disrespectful, then maybe it's best if we end this now. So you're kicking me out? Meghan asked, her voice sharp. I'm giving you a choice, Allison corrected. You can stay, and we can start over, fresh, with mutual respect. Or you can go. But what I won't do is sit here and be your punching bag because you're angry at the world. Meghan stood there, trembling with what looked like a mixture of rage and something else. Maybe hurt, maybe fear. You have no right to speak to me this way. I have every right to stand up for myself, Allison said firmly. Just like you have every right to stand up for yourself. But standing up for yourself doesn't mean tearing other people down. I can't believe this, Meghan muttered, looking around the studio as if searching for support. But the crew members who'd initially been sympathetic now looked uncomfortable, some even nodding slightly at Allison's words. Believe it, Allison said. This is what happens when you treat people like they're beneath you. Eventually, they stop tolerating it. Meghan's voice went very quiet, very cold. You're going to regret this. Do you have any idea who I am? What I can do? Allison met her gaze steadily. Yeah, I do. You're Meghan Markle, and you've got a lot of influence. But that doesn't scare me, babe. Because I know who I am too. I'm someone who treats people fairly, who does her job with integrity, and who won't be bullied by anyone, no matter how famous they are. Bullied? Meghan's laugh was sharp and bitter. That's rich. Truly rich. It is what it is, Allison said with a shrug. You came on this show. You've been rude, dismissive, and accusatory for no reason. And now you're threatening me. If that's not bullying, I don't know what is. Meghan's entire body was rigid with anger. Fine, I'm leaving. And trust me, people will hear about this. They'll hear about how I was treated here. I'm sure they will, Allison said calmly. And they can watch the footage and decide for themselves who was in the wrong. That seemed to give Meghan pause. Her eyes widened slightly as she realized that every word, every expression, every moment of this altercation had been captured on camera. You wouldn't air this. Why wouldn't we? Allison asked. It's the truth. It's what happened. Isn't that what you're always talking about? Your truth? Meghan's face went pale, then red, then pale again. This is a setup. This whole thing was a setup to make me look bad. Allison sighed, a deep, weary sigh. No, love. This was an opportunity for you to share your message, to connect with people, to show a different side of yourself. But you chose to be defensive and aggressive instead. That's not on me. That's not on this morning. That's on you. How dare you blame me for this disaster, Meghan spat. How dare you not? Take any responsibility for your own behavior, Allison shot back, her patience finally wearing thin. I have been patient. I have been kind. I have tried everything to make this work, and you've fought me every step of the way. So yes, I'm saying this is on you. Because it is. Meghan looked around wildly, as if hoping someone would come to her defense. But everyone in the studio was silent, watching the scene unfold with a mixture of discomfort and disbelief. I want my lawyer, Meghan said suddenly. Allison's eyebrows shot up. Your lawyer? For what? Having a difficult interview. Babe, you're being a bit dramatic now, don't you think? Don't call me babe, Meghan snapped. Don't you dare call me that. It's what I call everyone, Allison said, genuinely confused. It's a term of endearment. I've called you that since you walked in. Well, I don't like it, Meghan said. It's condescending. It's not meant to be, Allison replied. But fine, I'll stop. Meghan, you're welcome. To call your lawyer, you're welcome to do whatever you need to do. But right now, you need to make a decision. Are you staying or are you going? Meghan pulled herself up to her full height, trying to reclaim some sense of dignity. I'm going. Obviously. I refuse to be disrespected like this. Then go, Allison said simply. No one's stopping you. Meghan started toward the exit, her heels clicking sharply against the studio floor. But then she turned back one more time, unable to resist getting the last word. You know what? I feel sorry for you. I really do. You had a chance to be part of something meaningful today, to amplify an important message, and you blew it. Allison remained completely calm. The only person who blew anything today is you, and deep down, I think you know that. Meghan's face contorted with fury. You're just like all the rest of them. You're just another person who can't handle a strong woman speaking her mind. No, Allison said, her voice cutting, through the studio like a knife. I'm someone who respects strong women. I am a strong woman. But strength isn't about tearing people down, or playing the victim, or refusing to take accountability. Real strength is about being vulnerable, being honest, and treating people with kindness even when you're hurting. And that's something you clearly haven't learned yet. The silence that followed was deafening. Meghan stood frozen, her mouth slightly open, looking like she'd been slapped. Then, without another word, she turned and stormed out of the studio, the door slamming behind her with a resounding bang that echoed through the space. Allison stood there for a long moment, taking deep breaths, her composure finally cracking, just slightly, as she processed what had just happened. The crew remained silent, unsure of what to say or do. Then Allison turned to the camera, her professional smile returning, though her eyes were still serious. Well, she said, her voice a bit shaky but determined. That was something, wasn't it? I think we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have a lovely chat with someone who's here to talk about their amazing new bakery in Manchester. Stay with us. The cameras cut, and Allison finally let out a long, shuddering breath. A producer rushed over, asking if she was okay, but Allison just nodded, straightening her shoulders. I'm fine. Let's just get through the rest of the show. But everyone in that studio knew they'd just witnessed something unprecedented. A moment where someone had finally stood up to Meghan Markle, had refused to be intimidated or manipulated, and had called her out on behavior that had gone unchecked for far too long. As the crew reset for the next segment, whispers began circulating about what had just transpired. Some were shocked, some were supportive of Allison, and some worried about potential backlash. But one thing was absolutely certain. This interview, this altercation, would be talked about for a very long time,